Okay, here we go again. I'm live. This is Leanne Graff. It's Tuesday, 11 a.m. Every Tuesday at 11, I host a live video or class, you might say. So, I think I see what might have been the problem. Well, maybe not. Yep, okay. I am live. So hopefully you guys switched over to me. I started a video and had to stop because I couldn't tell I'm live. It wasn't popping up. So anyway, here we go. I'm ready. And we are going to play with the Irresistible Blooms bundle and designer paper. So I have a really cool, actually two really neat cards. So hi, Gianne. Thank you for joining me. All right, we are going to get started with door prizes right away. Okay, hey Susan, thank you for joining me. So last week's prize was the Loveliest Layers decorative masks and the Fun Flower Resin shapes. So make sure you comment and say hello or what you like or don't like about the projects I share, so you can get in on the door prizes. And if you share, you get in on a little bit bigger door prize. So the winners of the prizes for last week are Jane Mint and Laura Summer. So I believe Jane won the gems and Laura won the masks. So I will be sending them these projects to them. So I have Jane's address, but I need Laura's address. So we'll see. So hopefully she'll message me with her address. So congratulations. So the prize for this week is a set of paper lattice. And these are really fun, especially for fall time. So I used these a lot a year ago or more when they were in current. And I found this stamp set that I had packed away and hadn't seen it for a long time. And I don't even remember using it. It was a host set, so a sweet sampler. It's red rubber, brand new. So this is the prize for sharing my videos. So I appreciate those that do that and share it in their feed, or maybe share it personally in a message to another stamper. So that's always fun to get a message if you like a video and want to share it. Okay, or tag a friend so they, oh, you're welcome, Susan. I'm glad you enjoy your prize that you got. I'm going to go over a couple specials first. So the kit collections are on sale, the kit collection kits. They're up to 30% off, and I want to show just a couple favorites that I don't know if I've shared these. So I'm going to bring in my big box. So here's one, and this one is called the Forever Friends Kit. And it has these gorgeous envelopes that are the foil. And then you have, I believe I don't know if it's 6 or 8 cards, but I changed up the greetings on this one because it does come with a stamp set, but I wanted thank you cards for my customers, so that's what I did. So easy, quick cards, and they are wonderful for gifts as well. So that's the Forever Thanks. And the next one, this is awesome for kids. If you are a parent of kids and they're invited to all the birthday parties, these are let's see, this is called the Robot Buddies Kit. Trying to get all the cards, and this has 9 cards, and they have these fun little googly eyes in all kinds of colors that you add to and they're all like there's pre-cut stickers, plus there's stamps. These are all stamped here with extra little stickers on top of them, and there's a stamp set in there too. So with these, so this one is a great one. Robot Buddies is that one. And there are over 25 kits in this is my blog address, by the way. There's over 25 kits in our kit collection. So this one, I did jazz up the cover of this. It was for a class that I did, but this is name of this one is the Birthday Card Organizer Kit. So you get the organizer booklet, and you get 6 of each of these cards. So here is one of them, and they are basically just almost like a lick and stick. There's no stamping on this. They come with the embellishments, all the pieces. The greetings are already printed. So it is perfect for a non-stamper, just a crafter. You actually get the tape, the gems with it. And yeah, it's just a really neat kit, but I love how you can organize your cards. So put your cards and envelopes in there. Let's see, the envelopes, I guess, look like that. So you can insert and keep track of birthdays, anniversaries, whatever, but what a fabulous gift. If you give cards to somebody and they save them and to organize them, this would be great. So this was $25 and it's now $20. So it's a great deal on the kit collection page on our website. So yeah. I want to talk about that. Bonus days, if you put in an order over $50 in July, you can redeem that $5 coupon. You get a $5 coupon for every $50 you spent in August. Do not let them expire. They're free money. Okay, and for people who order from me here on my website, that's the host code for the next few weeks, and I'm giving a free card package away to everybody who puts an order in. The more you spend, the more cards you get. And they are cards from my kits to go, which are a lot of fun folds, some neat designs you can case. So that's my bonus for orders in August. Okay, inventory update really quick. Out of stock items, the truck punch, not till October, unfortunately. The bow punch, I don't remember, I think later this month. Patchwork pieces dies, zany zoo, timeless arrangement dies, horse and sleigh dies, and the tinsel gems 4-pack. Those are just an excerpt of what's out of stock. Low inventory, the designer paper I'm using today is out of stock, and that is the Hello Irresistible paper. So I'll be sharing some projects with that. The Countryside Inn and Fresh as a Daisy designer paper is low in stock. Wink of Stella and a bunch of dies. Crafting with You, Paper Florist, Sending dies, Cheerful Daisy dies, Gorgeously Made, and Deckled Rectangle dies. So that is the little inventory update for you. Okay, now I want to remind everybody that I'm starting to do project sheets for every card I do on my lives. So I'm trying to be consistent about that. They're done. I'm going to add just the cards I'm making today to the photos. And yeah, you'll see those. And this is what they look like. So the project, the measurements, the directions, and the list of supplies that I used on the back. So that is a free project sheet that will be on my blog next week for today's projects. All right, so we're going to start out with a fractured card. So I'm sure you've been seeing these if you've been online. They are all the rage, and some people are, I think, doing it differently, but other people have found a quick way. And I was inspired by my downline, my team member, Karen, who made this card for our swap, our team swap, using the truck and the punch and the set. Can't get that anymore. I mean, we will. In October, you can get the punch in October. But this is the, let's see, oh, I'm drawing a blank. Inked Botanicals designer paper. So it looks like, oh, I got to do all this measuring, and it just looks like so intimidating. And I felt that way when I first saw that, but I'm going to show you an easy way. She shared this on at our team meeting on Saturday. So I decided, of course, to use, this is my focus today, is the Irresistible Blooms designer paper, which is gorgeous. This is one of my favorites. I think I'm using it today too, I think. I can't remember. I cut out cut out yesterday, and it's been a long day already since I cut that out. Okay, so I'm going to, this is what I used, the Irresistible Blooms stamp set, and this is the first card. So I made, I'm going to make a different version on the video today, but I kept it very, very, very simple. So basically what you need is a piece of designer paper, and I didn't even print measurements for this because they are just that simple. You just need a piece of designer paper, and yes, I did use my favorite piece here. So this is going to be different colors. So you just need, that's what you start with, is just the paper. So then you need a square, and some people are getting all fancy with a hexagon or a shaped die, but I'm going to just stick with a square. You can take it and run with it if you want to, but I'm going to stick with the easy part. All right, so then you need a square. Okay, now it's up to you whether, like she did not layer her square. You don't have to, you can. I decided I'm going to, so I did just a monotone, not monotone, soft, kind of the same color. This is Petal Pink. Okay, so before I get going, I'm going to stamp, and I'm going to just see if I can do this in a, and I always need thank you cards, so I'm just going to keep this really simple. I'm going to use Petal Pink and hope that it's dark enough. So when you're stamping on a square, to get it straight, put it on a grid paper or something where you know what's up and down and not kittywampus. Cattywampus? What do you say? Kitty or catty? It does. You're right, Barb. This does work for any pattern. So I'm going to try and get this straight. I love the little curly cues on the thank you. Yeah, that's plenty dark enough. Okay. I'm going to put that aside and layer this. So I decided that I'm going to pop this up. I didn't add anything else much to this card because I just really like the simplicity of the design. So I'm going to just focus on the design and put my little dimensionals. I'm using minis. You wouldn't have to. Today I'm using minis. And then attempt to get this even. Okay, now to get this straight, you can measure it. You could certainly do it's 2 inches because this is 4 by 5 1/4. So you could certainly measure it. She said she didn't, and I'm not going to either. I'm just going to glue it on. I have a pretty good eye. If you tend to get crooked, you may want to put some little pencil dots on your card. And we're going to go a little higher than low, so it's not going to be even. And like I said, I'm going to just measure. It's kind of hard to get this straight when this is lower and that's higher. So the reason I love the liquid glue is because I can, that looks pretty good. Maybe move it over a little bit. Like I said, you can sure use a pencil. I could adjust all day. Okay, that's your first step. Next is to add strips. Now, I have a excuse me. I'm gonna get a little drink here. I have a tip on how to get these strips. Now, sometimes when you're trimming, especially your neutral paper, you're gonna trim that 1/4 inch off of your 4 1/4 inch piece of paper that goes on a normal layer, because like this is the normal layer, and you may have that 1/4 inch strips. But if you don't, I'm going to give you a quick tip on how to do that. Okay, bring the paper trimmer out. It is certainly easiest to start with a larger piece of paper. So this is 4 inches, so perfect. So these little lines here, all of these lines across here are 1/4 inch. So just slide this over to one of the lines and then cut. You got one. Slide it over again and cut. So that is perfect 1/4 inch pieces. So just use your grid on your paper trimmer. But it's like I said, it's easier to start with a larger piece than a skinny one and try and make them perfect. And what I did on this card was probably even worse. I had a wide, you can tell they're wider. I had a wider piece of white paper, and I said, I'm just going to cut it in half. It was a nice long 11-inch paper, so I got a bunch of strips. Well, they're a tiny bit off, and they're a little thicker than I would like. So the next card that I'm sharing will be better. Okay. All right. So the tip is, and I like to use the silicone mat, and you'll see why in a minute. So most people start at one spot or another. This is a great place to start if you're right-handed. So what I decided to do was rip off. Okay, I just decided to rip that off, and so I didn't put too much glue all along here. Now you could use regular tape runner if you want to. I prefer liquid. That's my go-to. And then you just butt it right against that edge. And now that has, because it was scraps, that's 2 bad ends. So I'm going to start with a new one that has a nice clean end, and put that up there and just pull off the excess. I'm all for speed. I like to do things quickly and easily. So this is going to be a very soft card. So I'm just making sure that, of course, it goes beyond the card and that it butts up against that piece right there. So we'll just keep turning and adding. And like I said, so I don't add so much glue all the way off, because if I kept that long, I don't know where to stop. Now I know it's about 1/4 inch from, and why I turn it over, I have no clue. It's the same color on both sides. Habit. Okay. So just push that right up against and put your finger on there. Make sure it's touching. Okay, last one. So I wouldn't really, now that I look at this, I would not have needed that extra layer. I should have used a different color, maybe yellow or green or something. I just realized that. Oh well. Okay, put that up there and trim or tear off the excess. And isn't this a fast card and a great way to use your scraps or just your pretty designer paper? So I will say this is approximately 2 inches. It's a little bit less than 2 inches, and then just add 1/4 inch or so to your square. So whatever size you cut your square, just add 1/4 inch. And I like to do this on the back side so I can use it. Either side would work, but that's what I do. Okay, and the reason I use the silicone mat is because if you get a little extra glue, you're not working with gluey, is that a word? Gluey grid paper. Okay, all right, so yeah, and one thing I will give you a tip on is that I think it works. Now, if I was gonna put this on here, oh, got a little ink on there. It doesn't quite look as cohesive, but when you have the same color strips as you do your main cardstock, I think it makes it look more like a interesting fractured design. It's just more cohesive. So we'll just add my glue here. Put that on. What a fast card. So it's called a fractured card, and I will have a project sheet for this card on my blog next week as well. So if you're not following me yet on my blog, it's flowerbug.net. Very easy, and you can subscribe so you get all the details. I put a lot more. I don't know if I want to say projects on. That stuck to my finger. On my blog than I do on Facebook. I'm a little more focused on that. So I'm just going to add a couple of those and call it good. And you could certainly add some flowers or petals or leaves or, oh, by the way, these are the Adhesive Back Sequins Trio. They're gorgeous with some pinks, the pretty peacock, and the white or iridescent. So I love these. They're one of my favorites. Okay, that's the first card, the fractured card. So yeah, it is a really neat card and a great way to showcase your designer paper. Now, I have a tip for you. If you want to change up and add another piece of paper or design, let me show you what you can do. I'm just going to find a piece that might work. This could work, yeah. Well, let me keep looking here and see what I find. Pattern wise, I think there's some more yellows I've used. Here we go. Here we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so if you want to add another pattern, you could change 4 patterns. You could just do 2. This is what I would do: is start out with probably a full piece of paper, and before you would do this before you'd glue this. So if you're going to do this, don't glue it onto your card first. So I would glue that right on there and then turn it over and use my paper trimmer and cut the edge off. So you could have 2 patterns, but because this is square, you don't need to cut this ahead of time. I mean, because the shape of the fill-in is square, you don't need to figure out any measurements. You just simply add that, turn it over, and trim. And you can probably get 4 pieces from one piece of 6x6 to add to a card. So that would be really cute, wouldn't it, to do that? So that's how I would add another shape, is to just simply insert that, adhere it, and trim off the edge before you add it to your layer. Okay? All right, first card done. Easy card. This is the quick card. Now we're going to get to the not so quick card. And bring that over. So I shared this card, I think a few weeks ago, because Annette, I didn't see if Annette was on today, but she shared this card. She was our Artist of the Month last month, and she used the Hey Chuck bundle, and just loved this card, and I just thought it was so intriguing. I had to make it. So I know she got the idea from Lisa Curcio. I did not go to her video. I just used this, and that's the great thing. Oh, the center square, Diane, is approximately 2 inches. You can go larger, you can go smaller, but it's about 1 7/8. So it doesn't really matter when you do that card, but approximately 2 inches. But she made this card for her Artist of the Month, and I was so intrigued, and I thought, it's not that hard. There's a little mechanism inside. You die cut your window. So I'm going to share a card, 2 cards. One I already made, and I'm going to make one in front of you on how to do this. So it looks really complicated, doesn't it? So cute. This is the, I believe this is the Countryside Inn, a designer paper, I believe. And of course the Hey Chuck. It's so cute. You've got something to crow about. It's your birthday. It's just, she did such a good job on it. Okay, all right, let's move on to our project. So if you noticed, it used the TaylorMade Tags dies, one of my favorite sets of tags and dies, because it's just so, they're different sizes, even though they all kind of nest, these two nest, or this side nests and those side nests. You can add the little fasteners or addition to each hole that it die cuts. So great set of dies. Okay, so here's my card that I made, and it's kind of over the top. It's totally opposite of what we just made as far as easy versus advanced. So if you love fun folds, you're going to like this. But see how it folds flat, and it's actually not as thick as you would think, but it opens up just fun and stands up. What a neat display. So there's the back side. Room enough for you writing your signature. So you have all the insides are all pretty as well with the designer paper. Okay, so I do have quite the measurement list. Now, however, remember, this card will have the project sheet. If you like to have a printout, this will be on my blog next week. So I hope you're following me on my blog, flowerbug.net. So you can print out, it'll be printable project sheet that you can do that. Okay, so my colors are Lost Lagoon and Soft Seafoam. So I'm gonna close this color. Oh no, I'm gonna use that color. But yeah, this card features Soft Seafoam and Lost Lagoon, which is what is in the designer paper. So now we're gonna switch over to Petal Pink and maybe a little bit of coral. So this is our pieces, and I didn't know what color leaves to do, so I die cut a few different leaves. Now I did start this card already because there was a lot of adhering of you need 4 sheets and they're scored in half. So 4 pieces, 4 1/4 by 5. This is a full size card piece. So you need 4 single sheets like this scored in half at 2 1/8. Then you adhere the designer papers to that. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Finish adhering. Okay. Try and get my corners. Oh, slidey glue, right? Which I like. But sometimes it gets away from you. I've finished a card and moved away and come back. I'm like, oh, it moved. And of course, then it's all glued and down flat. So, okay, so I believe it's going to go like that. All of these are going to go in. Okay, now what you do basically is glue these together. So I don't want to do too many at a time. Just going to glue so they're all back to back, and that would mean, yeah. Oh, I don't want to do it wrong, but I don't think you can do it wrong because you're certainly not going to glue the designer paper, but you do have to make sure the score line and the seam and the open end is together. You don't want to glue let's see, how would that be? This way. You don't want to do that. You always want it next to each other, okay? So the score line, the fold, I guess, is always next to each other. So I'm not watching comments as much as I should. Oops, like I said, you have a little slide time when you use the liquid glue. Okay, I have one spot open on this card. And so that one will go right there, right? So there's our card base. So I'm going to do this one at the same time. Try and get a little bit at the edge so I probably shouldn't do this at the same time, but I'm going to. Okay, there is our card front. Now you can turn any one of these into your front. It does not matter. You just have to have basically that. Okay. All right, so now I die cut these. Now this one is the pieces I just put on there were 8 pieces of 2 inches by 5 1/4. That was this designer paper. Now I'm doing this one, 2 pieces at 4 1/2 wide by 4 3/4 long, and you score 1/2 inch from each edge. And after you score, you will use the TaylorMade Tags dies, or a rectangle die would work too. I mean, you could even use a circle. Why not? Any shape would be fine. You can have fun with it. But I use the TaylorMade Tags dies, and having the score line here helped me line it up perfectly. So I do recommend scoring first before you die cut those. So now I'm going to make these nice and flat. Then, see, that'll go on there. See how pretty the colors are together? All right. You can do these steps in different, you could do the inside piece I'm going to do next first if you want to, but this helps me center. All right, so I'm looking to make sure it's all centered up, top and bottom, and side to side, and that it lays flat. Okay, so luckily my glue is slidable. See how that works? So cool. All right, we'll do the other side before I move on to the mechanism. And we will make this mind, score well, and just make sure I've got the top and the top at the same place. Don't want to do it backwards. And I'm doing a very thin amount here and spreading it out. That's what I like to do with my glue, usually with a fine area, a small area, because it won't leak out then when I press. Okay. This paper is so pretty. Now remember, this paper, this is called Hello Irresistible. It's in the online store and it is in low inventory, so it will likely be out of stock soon. All right, very cool. Now to get this in there, and I cut that out of this white paper out of the same size, we have to add a mechanism in here. So this is right here, 2 pieces, 1 inches by 2 1/2. And you score at 1/2 inch, 1 1/4, and 2. So that is your little pop-up mechanism. Okay, so when you do that, you fold it like that. Okay, I'll do this one so you can look at that one if you need a screenshot or anything. And then you want this center score line on this score line. And it can be anywhere in the middle. So I just want adhesive on these 2 little, and I should have probably used my bone folder so it laid flat, but it will slide. And I'm going to press that down. can see I'm not quite centered, but nobody else will know that. I'm looking at that in that little area for some reason. It doesn't matter. This doesn't matter that much. I did not make sure that was very centered, but press that down. I'm not gonna move that. I'm gonna leave it lie flat and do the other side so it doesn't slide on me. You know how the glue can slide, which I just mentioned. Okay, we'll do the other side. Now you wouldn't have to make both sides pop up, but why not? If you're gonna spend time on this fancy a card, do both sides. Okay, so while these are drying, I'm not gonna bend it because I don't want it to slide on me. I'm going to stamp my inside. So I think I'm gonna mostly stamp with the petal pink. There's not a lot of coral. There's a little bit of coral on here, but I'm gonna use petal pink. And we're gonna do the same thing and do hello. And I think on the other side, I did hooray, it's your day. Did I bring that one? Oh, I probably didn't. Interesting, but I think I wanted to do this one as a thank you. So we'll just stamp on the one side. Okay, hello. And then I think I'll just do some leaves or something, but leaves are not in pink. That's my problem. This stamp set mostly has flowers and leaves. So, and I want to do a flower on the other side. Well, maybe I'll do a flower. So I'm going to show you a method of getting the two tones. We're going to do the two-tone color. You can do this in two ways. So you can do it, let's try both ways. I think I have room on this scrap of paper here. I'm going to practice. So I inked in petal pink, and I'm going to rock and roll. Do you remember that technique? So that means you simply rub the edges. I'm tilting this. I don't know if you can see that. Tilting this and rubbing the edges with Calypso Coral ink. So you can see they're a little bit darker. I like to add, this is Calypso Coral, a little bit in the center, and then I use a sponge dauber just to bring that in. Huff and stamp. This is going to be pretty bright, brighter than I think I want on this card, although maybe that is pretty. Maybe I will do it. I'm going to try it. I had to practice. So ink in the light color. Now I'm going to rock and roll just very lightly with the dark color and get my Calypso Coral sponge and add something to the center. Let's see what I did on the back side. This is going to go on this. Okay, a little off center. And I think, even though this is the wrong leaf color, I'm going to do a couple little tiny leaves here. That's really pretty, even though leaves are not in pink that I know of. I mean, I suppose there are some somewhere. So I think I'm going to leave it at that because I have a die cut flower for this one. Okay, now you could sponge edges and whatnot. All right, so this is going to be the back, so it doesn't really matter what I choose to be the back. When you put this on here, a little trick. You could put another one of these mechanisms right here and then glue that on there, but she did, I had to kind of peek, and she did a rolled up glue dot along this fold. Now can you see I stretched that out? I'm going to show it to you close up in just a minute. Another one, and I do use my fingers. You don't want it off the fold too much or it will go a little crooked, a little wonky. So I'm going to use 3 and I'm kind of just stretching them so they stay on the fold. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. So then either one of these tags is fine as long as I'm done stamping. I would not want to have to stamp on all these layers. So you just fit that right in the window, press it on that, and then let it go inside. Okay. Oh, one thing I did forget, I was going to add some ribbon in there. And my ribbon is over here. Just a moment. I was going to add this new coral 1/8 inch ribbon, but I don't, it's a little dark. So I think I'm going to simply just use our, what is this called? It's Baker's Twine Essentials Pack. And this is just plain white. Just so it's barely there, but the tag is filled. You know, not having an empty tag. Now this is going to be a little tricky. I can bring that back up. When you're doing a ribbon in a tag, the fold goes through the front. I try and let people remember that by using the two F's. Fold and front are both start with F. So fold through the front. Then I'm going to put that back in and just trim off the excess, just so it's filled. All right, so I did pre-do this. It has some more yellow on it than I have on here, but I think I'm going to just try some of these yellow leaves on this. So on this card, I added a second flower on here. So I have one flower on there with dimensionals and leaves, and then I added a second flower adhered only to the pop-up. So it can embellish here if you want to. I'm not going to on this card. I'm going to stick with it being very simple. I am going to glue these together. There we go. With a glue dot. And that'll go under the flower as soon as I figure out where I'm going to put it. Now this can be, it can be beyond the tag as long as it's inside. Figured that much out. Okay, we'll add some dimensionals here. Minis. Oh, I didn't get the edge off. Okay, get your backing off. And another mini glue dot. I love mini glue dots. If you don't have any and you craft, oh, you got to get some. I'm just going to put that on that leaf and kind of put that together. It's already sticking. I don't want it to stick quite yet. There we go. Okay. That looks good to me. Now the other side will be just like that. The room enough to stamp or write your thank you on. And same thing, you need to, and I'm going to try and remember to add my my white Baker's Twine before I put it in there this time. But as you can see, it worked. So just get your rolled up mini glue dot on that seam or score line, and then you should be good to go. You see that? Okay. And then fit that right in the window and press. Oh, I didn't remember, did I? I'll just do it now. So fold through the front of whatever, ribbon, twine, whatever, fold through the front, and then pull your tails in through the loop and then trim and sneak that in there. And the last thing to do is to add some gems. Now these are our iridescent pearls, basic jewels. You can see I colored a few. Whoops, stay on there. Oh boy. You can color our gems with your, I'll use a small one, with your blends markers. For some reason, that looks a little crooked. Oh, darn. How did I do that? Did that slide? It looks straight flat, but when you open it up, it looks a little crooked. Well, hopefully they won't notice. Oh, boy. Okay. There we have it. So, I don't know which I like better, but what a fun card, huh? This is called a Bendy Window card. Yeah, if you like making fun folds, this is an interesting one. It's quite unique. I haven't seen anything like it until I saw Annette make hers. And I don't follow other people on YouTube or anywhere. I just don't have time to watch other videos. So I kind of wait until I get inspired by something, and then I just try and figure it out. Hardly ever watch a video. If it's too complicated for me, I just to figure out, I don't do it. Okay, that is it for today's video for projects anyway. So here there's the blue and green, and here is the Calypso or Petal Pink. So those are our projects today. If you missed the first part of the fractured card, please watch it over because, oh, I did forget something. Oh, I didn't bring it over here, but I did do the Wink of Stella on my flowers. And on this one, I don't know if you can see it, I did it on the designer paper. You can make your designer paper sparkly just with the Wink of Stella. Just, it's very, very subtle. You will not see a lot of glitter with the Wink of Stella. Very subtle. But yeah, those are our cards today. So I'm glad you want to try the fold. Hopefully it is easy enough. And like I said, next week I'll have the project sheets for both on my blog. So make sure you're following me on Flowerbugs Ink Spot. You can subscribe on the right side toward about halfway down the first page. It says subscribe here or get updates. That means you're subscribed and you will get every blog post I make, which is usually Monday through Friday. I don't post on weekends. All right, really quick, I wanted to share, I have 5 days left to get in on my kits to go. So this is the first one. This is the Bright and Beautiful cards. You get these are big, 4 1/4 by 6 inch envelopes. And you make these great celebratory cards using the Memories and More kit. So that's what that includes, plus a share of rhinestones and 2 colors of baker's twine. So that is $20 in product, and it costs just $28. So you're paying about $4 for the tutorial, the extra pieces and whatnot. So yeah, that is the Bright and Beautiful, and you can find it right here on my flowerbugshop.com. That's that kit, and you can get both if you want to, because the second one is my Earth and Elegance card kit, and a couple of them are fun folds. So that is my double Dutch door card, and this is another side fold kind of. And aren't they just beautiful colors? There you go, a lot of peacock in here, little misty moonlight. There's that one. You do not have to have the stamp set. Now this is a stamping kit. The first one, no stamping needed. Everything is printed on the cards or the die cut stickers. But this one, all the die cuts are done for you. All you have to do is cut your own new designer paper. You get a half a pack of the Earth and Elegance designer paper that you cut, but everything else is pre-cut for you. So, and you also do get this wavy natural trim. You can see I used it in a few different ways on the card. I love this one where you line your greeting with it. What a cool addition. And besides that, you get the neutral sequins and 10 envelopes. So lots of product, $20 in product for just $28 for the kit, tutorial, everything. So you can combine kits. I just had somebody order 3 kits. They'll all fit in the same envelope. So whatever your shipping is, the store figures it out for you. So yeah, all right. So that's my blog. There's my shop, and here's my, this is my tutorial shop and glue stands if you're interested in glue stands, and that is my link to shop with me, and there's my host code. All right, I think I covered it all. Okay, thanks so much for joining me. I hope you try the fun fold card and the fractured card that I did today. So yeah, they'll be later. I'll upload it to YouTube, and they're always on my Flowerbugs Ink Spot Facebook page under the videos, so you can get them under the videos as well. All right, thanks everybody. I appreciate you joining me, and yeah, so don't forget to subscribe either here on my Facebook page or on my YouTube channel. Give me some hearts, give me some likes, tell me what you like about the videos and projects, and I really appreciate your feedback. Okay, take care. Happy stamping. Bye-bye.